sign these contracts?
The question
We have
is,
some other questions.
the question is, front, if you refuse the contract, what's the ramifications, I guess?
I can answer that. So, if you refuse to let us on your property, we won't come on your property. We'll work our way around it. Right now, I don't know what the right-of-ways are in the area, but, you know, we would try to work around it. One of the things that we're doing is, it's new technology, where when we lay out these phones in the ground, they're only connected for a very short distance from one to the next. So if we have to, if somebody had a really pretty swimming pool out there and you don't want us to put a geophone along the fence line, we'll just stop the cabling over here. It goes into an antenna that comes back to us, and we'll start it over there 100 feet later. But all we're talking about here are geophones in the ground. It's like a Q-tip in your ear. I mean, it's really not going to do anything else. If we were talking about coming in, trying to put something on your driveway, then I would be afraid of that. But that's not what we're doing.
I think the state, and I think we have some representatives from the state DNR or some contractors, I think there was a lot of thought put into making sure that this 3D seismic gets done. It was very critical for everybody. Everybody's concern is what's happening on the western edge of that dome, what's happening with the gas, what's happening with oil. If you don't get the 3D seismic, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to be sitting here another year from now asking the same question and having no answers. This is a start towards getting the answers. I'm not suggesting you jeopardize any of your rights. What I'm suggesting, that's why I asked about the time frame. The gentleman who's the right-of-way agent said he's here. I'm not advocating you sign it if you have some serious theories about not signing it. That's fine. But what I would ask you to do is pick up a copy of it. If there's something you want addressed, you feel like you're comfortable in signing it, but you want something addressed, I want them to stay off of this property, stay to the west side of my property. I'd like to have something included that you're concerned about. I would suggest that you address it with them. Contact the gentleman, see if you can address it with it. They may be able to accommodate your request. He may not, I'm not sure. I don't work with these folks, I'm not associated with this seismic activity, but they may be able to address your concern. If they can't address your concern and you're wholeheartedly steadfast against it, fine. That's your prerogative, and this gentleman's got to work around it. But for those of you that if they can't address your concerns, all I can tell you is, I think the 3D seismic is needed. I'm not an expert in 3D seismic, but you've got to get a picture of what's going on, or we'll be sitting here for a long time and have no idea of what's happening truly at the sinkhole and with the gas formation below us. So that's just all I can, that's my encouragement. Not to jeopardize any of your rights, but take a look at it. If they can accommodate what your concerns are, see if they can accommodate them. They may very well be able to. If they can't and your concerns aren't addressed and you don't want to sign, that's all right too. But the quicker the better, because what happens is if you're not going to sign, he needs to design the system around you. If you're going to sign and there's something you want to put in the right-of-way agreement that you want addressed on your particular property, and they're willing to accommodate you and include it, the quicker you can get it done, the quicker he can get moving.
Mr. Hill, it is Hill, right?
Yes.
If you have to skip a couple of houses to go to the next one, will that damage your image, or you still gonna get the same image or what? If this guy...
It would damage it a little bit. It's kind of like taking a photograph out of the newspaper and cutting out, you know, a little snip out of it. So there would be something missing. But think about a picture in the newspaper and you cut out a little piece. If I hold it up here, you wouldn't be able to see that that piece is gone. But how fine do I need to see it?
One other thing, you said that you were one of the first people to do a seismic survey on this dome back in this, I guess back in the 50s or 60s.
Oh, no. No, I worked on the 3D.
Okay.
I worked on the first 3D, which is the Napoleon-built Legend.
About how long ago that was?
About 5-6 years ago.
Okay. I was just wondering who gave Bruce's company the idea that he could make that cavern right there close to the edge. I'm just glad it isn't you.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't me either. But, I work for a lot of different people. Being an independent contractor, I get a lot of people that come to me, and some people want to know, do you know the difference between red and green? And I say, yeah, red is stop and green is go. And I have people that come to me and they say, that yellow light's been on for 3 seconds, push the pedal down. And I say, no, I'm going to put the brakes on. I have people that have asked me, as a consultant, to go out and shoot across somebody's yard at night so they don't know. And, you know, I just won't do that. I will stand up here, I don't, you know, if I'm still being recorded somewhere, I just won't do that. I have ethical requirements by the American Association of Petroleum Geologists, which I've been a member of for 35 years, and for the Society of Exploration Geophysicists, which I've been a member of for 35 years. And they're just things I won't do. Okay? I know the difference. And the reason I wanted to be involved in this is because I know the difference and because I wanted to make sure that we got a good solution here in our state. I didn't want somebody from California, you know, coming in here and telling us, you know, how to do it, and then it doesn't work, and what do we look like? You know? That's why I'm doing this. But I have designed everything here meticulously to work around the design for this. This guy, JC, is probably going to have gray hair and is going to look like me soon, because every time I get this, we have aerial photographs that are registered down to the inch. And we're putting these little things that are a stick in the ground. And I'm looking at this map and saying, you know, if we rotate that a little this way, or we move this that way, we get a much safer spot to be. And we've done that. Now, we get permission from you. When we get out there, if we see that, we see on that photograph, there's something there that doesn't really show up on the photograph. There were some chicken houses somewhere out there. I've been all over the properties now, and there were some chicken houses. And we get out there, I'm not going to ask to move the chicken houses, and I'm not going to put something right in the middle of them, and they are going to go around this, but we call those hazards, and it's not until we get physically on the property, or, you know, that we're coming through with our surveyors, that we would actually know that's not a spot we could occupy. If you tell us today you can't come on our property, we'll try to work around you. That's all we can do. The state can't force you. We're not asking the state to force you like Texas brine is being forced. We're going to have to work around it. But if you want to be the person to be obstructing for that, that's your prerogative. We're in America. But if somebody were to come to you and ask you, you know, you get sick and you go to the doctor and you got a choice of getting a CAT scan or going home, you know, I think I'd get the CAT scan. You know, but that's me. That might not be you. But what we're here to do today is explain this to you. We're doing this to try and make it as user-friendly as possible. I'm not afraid to come back down here. And I'm going to come back here and I'll show you the pictures. I think I'll be able to do that. We'll be keeping everybody up to date of what's happening. I have changed my schedule so that when the last bit of information is being collected, you know, maybe y'all are interested, maybe you're not. We have high-teched this thing so much that I'm just really proud to be a part of it. Every day, as we're finishing collecting, all of the data goes across the vapors to our processor in New Orleans, keeping it all in Louisiana because we just want the best. And we're going to be in there, and every day he's going to be putting the stuff together to get it into shape so that when the very last point is taken out there, we're going to take that over to your where'd he go? To your shed, plug it in, uplink it to the internet. I'm going to get in my car and drive to New Orleans, and the next day I'm going to have the 3D picture. This normally takes 6 weeks to get the preliminary. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to expedite this in every way we can. I am trying to expedite this in every way I can. I have had no obstruction from Texas Brine on this, and I'm counting pennies. And I deal with billions of dollars every year. I mean, this is what I do. And there are some people that count in tens of dollars in the oil business, and it's a very difficult thing to do. We have a job to get done. I told them what it was going to cost, and they said, go get it done. I went out, got bids, I got the best company. These guys, Boone Exploration, are probably the most environmentally sensitive company out there working right now. So, yes.
Mr. Hill, I don't think anybody's saying that what you want to do and requesting your ability to do it. We're just saying is Texas Brine going to back you up, and if they are, will they modify the contract?
So the question is, can the contract be modified? We have a basic contract, it'll show where you are, it'll tell you what we're doing, and if you want to put some language in there, you can put language in there. We'll look at it and see if it's legal language that has teeth, if that makes sense.
Texas Brine has plenty of lawyers, and I think Mr. Martin knows what I'm talking about. And I think that's the language we're talking about.
Okay, well, I can't answer that. I know, I have seen.
Mr. Martin is right there.
I'll just say the same thing as Mr. Hill said. If you have language in there, you want something in, put it in. And these guys will decide if it's something, we'll talk, decide if it's something we can live with. If we can't, then we'll go around your property.
Right. I mean, that's what, I just hope that, you know, if it's a small percentage of people that does that, it's fine. If it's a larger percentage, we might be trying to image the baby and not get the head. That wouldn't be good.
Kevin, a question, just got a question. If any cracks are found in the salt and it's to the edge of where your work area is, will you, or Texas Brine, will continue to look, see how far that crack goes into the salt?
The seismic that we're doing will image faults and changes in the salt up to the area that we're imaging. We have different operators to the east that are not Texas Brine who, because of other reasons, you can't collect seismic data next to a well. You can't vibrate it, you might shake the well. And so the answer to the question is, if we see something, we'll try to understand where it goes, and if we had to try to image the salt a different way, what we're talking about right now, the VSPs, or there are wells in the salt, we'll try to image across the wells in the salt. It's all very new technology, but you know, there are people that do this.
His concern was that a crack in the salt and concern of cracks migrating to other caverns will, if cracks are seen further in than what you're doing an evaluation of.
But it's all on one salt dome. It's all on the same dome. So
Okay, so